Hey guys, welcome back to the channel here. So today we're taking a look at my 2007 Chrysler 300C SRT8. So as you can see, I pretty much completed my collection here of SRT vehicles, although you know, there is always more to collect. But I haven't driven my Chrysler 300 barely at all this year, and I've had it for about a year and a half. I put maybe 5,000 miles on it since I bought it, so I figured it's time to do a year and a half review on this 300C SRT8. So before we get it out on the road here, I just want to go over the underneath of the vehicle. So it's been sitting, and proof will be in the pudding when I try to start this vehicle, if it will start, because I forgot to put it on the tender. So it's been about 2 weeks since I used the vehicle last, and I want to show you the underneath to see if there's any drips or leaks, which there will not be. As you can see, it is all, besides this scuffed up front fascia, there are no leaks underneath the vehicle. So I want to first and foremost attest to the underneath of the vehicle. I haven't used it for 2 weeks. It hasn't left a spot, and it has not leaked. Nothing has leaked. So just to prove that to you, I want to cold start this and see if it actually starts. Got 77,000 miles on it. I bought it with a hair over 72, so I haven't even put on 4,000 miles on the beast yet. Yep, there we go. It just barely started. So again, just to show you that it hasn't been started in a while and has not been leaking. There we go. So let's get this baby on the road. Exterior wise, everything for the year and a half of ownership that I've owned it, everything is held up very, very well. You know, I do take care of my cars in the wintertime. I do not drive them. They sit in this heated, climate controlled shed here. And overall, they do get babied. So I did have to restore the paint a little bit, which was nice, and I did that. I did have to put new rear tires on it since I bought it, but that just comes with any SRT ownership. It doesn't matter the mileage of the vehicle. The only thing that is starting to sag here is this, and I'm sure I could fix it with a few clips, but is this front bumper. You know, from time to time, I'll have to essentially lift up on it to make sure that the panel gap isn't too large there. So, you know, that just kind of comes with age. Sometimes you can see there's a little bit of a sag there, and that just comes with age of the vehicle. Again, over here. And honestly, that could be not even the age of the vehicle. That just could be because of how Chrysler made vehicles back then. I'm not totally sure. But as far as the ride goes, everything's good. I did have to replace the front pads and rotors on the 300 as well, so I did that with the OEM stock Brembos. Got that done. Otherwise, tie rods, bearings, everything like that is held up excellent. Even a lot, I did have to add this, but even a lot of this side like protection, door protection, is held up great and is still sticking on. Everything on the back, no exhaust rattles, nothing like that. Stock exhaust on it. The underbody looks very clean. The door hinges for the trunk, or the trunk hinges I should say, those have started to, not the hinges, but the hydraulic shocks, those have started to wear down a little bit now, and they don't seem to hold up the trunk as well as, you know, what it was when it was new. But tinting, everything like that. Interior, the interior looks phenomenal. Over a year and a half, I cannot believe. I mean, this is really the only applique that seems to be peeling off, and it's not even that bad. You know, you really won't notice in the if you're not sitting in the rear seat, but the leather is phenomenal. That's one thing I have to say. These interiors on this SRT is, on any SRT from this era, is phenomenal. The leather is great, the ergonomics are great. You know, a lot of hard plastic, but as long as you take care of them, the sound system is phenomenal. and it really looks fairly brand new. I do have a lot of stuff in my passenger seat here. I apologize for that. But taking a look at the driver's seat, that isn't used very much. Now again, me and the previous owner were not very big people, so of course we weren't doing a lot of damage to the seats, but they are super comfortable. These are the most comfortable seats out of any SRT product, is in this 07 300. That I do have to say. The MyGig system works great. Shifter still looks good. I mean, yeah, a lot of hard plastics, but man, it all looks brand new. Another applique sort of peeling there, but not bad. I mean, the interior looks just phenomenal. And one thing before we get on the road here, I do want to show you under the hood. I think, of course, that is the bread and butter of the 300. So we'll pop the hood here quick. Oops. Take a look at it. And again, this vehicle has 77,000 miles on it. And I've owned it now for a little over a year and a half. This is where the engine really shines. As you can hear, there is no Hemi tick. When I drive it, I try to drive it, you know, not harsh, but enough to keep the RPM range higher. I mean, that's what it was designed for. It was designed to put your foot to the floor and have fun with it. The only mod I have on this is the BBK cold air intake, which honestly sounds phenomenal with this aluminum tube. I would definitely recommend this and get it again. I do need to buy a new filter for it, as that filter is getting pretty old now. But overall, it really looks great. Oh man, you just cannot beat the Hemi. Cannot beat the Hemi. So with that, guys, looking at everything here, let's take this out for a drive. So getting behind the 300, it's just as we accelerate here. It's just so much fun. Oh my goodness. The raucous Hemi V8 just provides you with such a feeling and such a sound that you don't get from any other vehicle. Maybe an LS engine, maybe, but the intake here with that aluminum, just like what we saw with the aluminum intake and the aluminum tube and the, you know, that whole intake system, it provides you with such an awesome frontal experience, as we're even like in my Challenger, because I have a custom exhaust on that, or the Jeep. You hear more exhaust, even my Ram truck, you hear more exhaust than you do intake. And yes, that's great, that's grand, that's what those vehicles are designed to do. But with this 300, for whatever reason, you get such a raucous and heavy sounding intake noise that it's so intoxicating to drive. And I've owned two 6.2 Hemis. Both of them I have right now. I don't know. I've never driven another 6.1. Sorry, I said 6.2. Thinking of the Hellcat. 6.1 Hemi. I've owned two of them. One of them has a loud exhaust. One of them has a stock exhaust. Of course, this 300, what I'm in right now. So I'm not sure if both Challenger, Charger, 300 Magnum, if they sound like this stock from the factory, or with just a intake noise. But now as we try that again, go from 2,000 RPMs. Oh my goodness. It seems like anytime you're in the range of 3,000 to 5,000 RPMs, right in the power band, you get this unbelievable pull of acceleration, but more so intake noise. And honestly, guys, at the beginning of the year, I was thinking about selling this vehicle because I bought my Challenger SRT. But I'm like, well, wait a second here. This vehicle drives better than the Challenger, and it sounds better, in my opinion, because of the intake noise. So when you're driving with others in the vehicle, which I don't do a lot, except with my girlfriend, we hear this unbelievable, oh, just pull of power and intake noise. And quite frankly, that's why you buy the vehicle, is for the experience. So I love the way this drives. You know, again, I already told you what I did do. I had to get new brakes, pads and rotors, and I had to put tires for the rear, of course, which is common. But otherwise, I've had this for just a hair under 5,000 miles, 4,900 miles now. And quite frankly, this has been probably my most favorite car to own so far. And this summer, I've only put on, well, we can take a look here. I put on 723 miles this year, this whole entire year on the vehicle. I've barely driven the car. And it's just such a blast to drive. It really is. It's such a blast to drive. The thing I like about this vehicle, and I'm a Mopar fan, which means I love larger cars. I love small cars too, don't get me wrong, but I love larger vehicles. But there's something about the 300 and Charger that when you get behind it, it's got such, it's pretty flat around corners, as we're going around a corner here pretty shortly. It's flat around corners, which is unusual for a large car. And its steering is actually, well, it's very numb. I do have to say, it's numb on center, and you don't get a lot of fuel anyplace else. It's very sharp. It's very sharp, very responsive, very fast rack on it. So now as I shift it into third, and I take this corner, it really is just so flat, and it's more flat than the Challenger. The Challenger harkens back to old retro style, and oh my goodness. I gotta slow down, guys. I'm going well above the posted speed limit. Oh man, so the Challenger is just so much more wafty than this, and yes, I could throw an exhaust on this and make it sound loud and cool, but man, guys, if you're out there looking for, you know, and you're my age now, and you're out there, you have enough money, you're out there looking for a mid-2000s vehicle, you know, mid-2000s to 2010s vehicle, you gotta check out a Charger 300, specifically a 300. I love the sleeper looks of this. I love it tinted out. It looks like a murder machine, and I just love driving it. It's soft, but yet stiff enough to be sporty, which is great. You want it to be stiff enough to be sporty, but it's soft enough as right now in northern Wisconsin we have just dog shit roads, and it's soft enough to be very comfortable on that. And that may be honestly a faux soft, because these seats are just so soft, and honestly that's what I think it is. I honestly think the Challenger is softer sprung than this with this Bilsteins, but I think because the seats are so comfortable in this cruiser that it gives you a faux sense of not only sportiness, but it gives you a sense of comfort as well, and that's a lot to do with the seats. A lot can be done with seats to make a vehicle that is stiffer actually feel a lot softer, and that's probably why this vehicle is so flat on the corners, is that the seats are so soft, but yet the suspension is sprung stiff enough to where the rebound and everything like that is stiffer than your average 300 or average SRT product. But man, oh man, I just forget when you don't drive a vehicle that you love. And yes, this is my dream, one of my dream cars that I've wanted ever since I was a child. When you drive your dream vehicle a lot, you lose that feeling. But when you don't drive it a lot, it's been 2 weeks for me. I've barely driven this vehicle at all in the last month and a half, and then when you get into it, it's just a treat. It is so much fun. It's so much fun to be in, so much fun to drive, and just to know that you have part of the Mopar heritage that you're driving is exciting. It really is meaningful to me. So I have, guys, the transmission is a transmission. I've talked about it in the past. We all know these Nag 1 transmissions from Mercedes-Benz are junk. You know, as I shift it right now, it's so slow to react. I mean, there's really the reaction time. You almost have to give it a full second before anything happens. It's not great. And the 8-speed changed that tremendously, as I found out in my Jeep 392. But still, you can have some fun in this vehicle. It's still very fast. It's still unbelievably powerful. And if you're looking for a second car, a vehicle like this should not be your daily driver, guys. Especially when you live in the north. This is not a great vehicle for the wintertime, clearly, because it's got unbelievable amounts of torque and horsepower, 425 and 420. Now with the slight mods, I have a tuner on this, and then the BBK intake, this is pushing more than that. But oh man, as a second vehicle, or even third vehicle in my case, or fourth vehicle in my case, this is so much fun to take out for a cruise, for a weekend with your significant other, and just have fun. It really harkens back to an age, especially for me, when I had a lot less to worry about, and it gives me some mental clarity whenever I drive this. And for me, if $18,000, what this cost me last year when I bought it, if that provides me with mental clarity as a somebody who works basically 24/7, hey, I'll take it. I will take it. And this definitely does that. So with that, everyone, we'll see you in the next episode. Like and subscribe if you like 300 content. I promise I'll be bringing more here, and we'll see you later.